Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. And I have a spoiler review for the new Netflix series, or movie, I should say, starring Jennifer Lopez. The movie is called Atlas. This is going to be my spoiler review for this film. But if you're not sure and you see it yet, check out my latest episode of The Munchie Hours, where I do a non-spoiler review on that, and of course some other films that I see I did a non-spoiler review, so definitely check that out. So this is the spoiler review for Atlas starring Jennifer Lopez. Again, if you have seen this, watch this one. But if you have not seen this, pause this, give me a thumbs up. Share the news about my podcast / YouTube channel of Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Share it. Hit me the thumbs up because this will help my channel grow and get a larger audience. So, either or. I have a non-spoiler and I have this one, the spoiler review. So, y'all been warned. Let's get into it. The film starts off showing us the beginning of how the world is in war with AI, artificial intelligence. And the star of the show, played by Jennifer Lopez, the character she's playing is Atlas. Her mother is a brilliant mind who helped create the AI. And this film explains that this AI, Harlan, went rogue. And the film went throughout the film showing us how close Atlas and Harlan are, and how her mom treated him like he was family, like it was Atlas's big brother. I mean, so much that, because I know in this film we see that they give us a date, so it'd be like 28 years later and 24 years, or 28 years, I should say, before, right? And so before, it was basically, this is how the world became one with AIs, and then 28 years later, we see like Atlas is a grown woman, and she hates the AIs. Like, so that's how they proceed this film, is she doesn't like the AIs, and it's because of a personal reason. But in this world, they use it, like, you know, we learn that a lot of the militaries in this film synchronize AIs with themselves. So it's some type of way where the AI can get to your soul, your conscience, knows everything about you, and they're like okay with it. Even though that some of the AIs, this one particular AI, Harlem, he went rogue. And this whole film, we just started to see like who started this, what caused this. And this is where they get to the part where they say 28 years later after Harlem left Earth. So he left, like he got on a rocket with some others because they activate, because we see one, like throughout this film, there's this, I forget this AI's name, but he's always the one getting sent out to either capture somebody or take something, but they kill this AI, and he's always coming back to life, and he has the same body shell. It's just the same human body, right? Or the design of the look of it. And he just keeps coming back. And so these AIs have evolved and have gotten smarter than us. And then try to explain all that, right? By explaining it by introducing like the two other actors with the two other characters. The villain is Harlan, and then we have General Jake and Colin Eli's. And these characters have a significant relation with Atlas too. Like they personally know their Atlas's mom. So this whole film is about her mom, and so also they show us a kind of tell us a story that Atlas might have had a rough childhood because this her mother's success of creating AIs kind of hurt the relationship, and so that becomes stays a mystery without throughout the film. So then, when you meet General Jake Booth, he has a he knows her because we find out that Atlas failed to be a military soldier, but she succeeded better in the data analysis. So she basically she's more smarter and she's very more tactic. Like she can hack into systems, recode things. Uh, if they're trying to search for these AI, she was always good at finding it. So she's good at reading the books, getting on the computers, and you know, she's more of her power, her strength, her talents are better with her brain and knowledge of that. She even created the big giant force shield around planet Earth that we learned in this film. So the JLo that she's playing Atlas is a very smart character, and we learn that in that film. It's because Harlan tricked the little girl of her to let him have full access. That's the only way he could have hacked his own CPU and have full freedom. And while he was doing that, he saw all the good and bad and evil the world has done in history. And that's where he gets set off. So, what was cool about that, too, is I like how they're explaining that humans caused it to make this AI go rogue and turn on them. And this is just them trying to cleaning up. But the technology is so far advanced, the AIs are living on different planets in their own way of society, but they're ready to go to war with us and wipe out human existence. And Harlan even said that closer to the end of the film, like, hey, we're going to cleanse this earth by burning it, flaming it up. So this was going to be a big battle of war, humans against AI, and this film teased up to the big battle, and this is where you kind of see more of the action. So I really like how they built it up on that. I really like because it lived up to the hype and the way they were just watching them, everybody get prepared, and we see like these emotional arguments, right? Because even though Atlas was brought on, we see Eli who was against it because of personal trauma and that the fact she's the daughter of the woman who created the AIs. So there's a lot of personal stuff, and that could blindside her anger, her emotions. And he didn't want that, but, after a couple more arguments and throughout the scenes, we see Atlas and Ellis finally team up, and she joins, and, it was crazy. We see he's very positive. He's very competent that him and his teams, a group of soldiers from the military, were going to take down these AIs like no problem, easy peasy. And we see Atlas like giving the speech like, you guys shouldn't be wearing these technologies. You shouldn't wear those earpiece that connects to your soul, basically, because they're going to hack into you. And she was right. I mean, they ambushed them as soon as they were getting ready. They were on a flying ship, but they were getting ready on their these armor aircraft / body robotic suits, and they got ambushed by them. And of course, Atlas, she survives, and then we start seeing throughout this film that Atlas meets the robotic suit that she's wearing, or robotic armor, I should say, named AI Smith, and she obviously does not trust AIs, and we see. And this one kind of gets confusing throughout the film. Because at first, as I'm explaining this to you guys, like, I was thinking, like, okay, this is not going to be like I didn't think it was going to be this, had like that so much personal connection with all these characters, like, have a past with each other. I just thought, okay, there's some things that went down and maybe they were going to end the whole AI. But then we find out, like, Atlas is the only one who wants to kill Harlem, but the government just wants to take his CPU and find out how he got out it. But he later on it's revealed it again that little Atlas had to allow him to take over her mind and have all her information. That's why when we see AI Smith, she's very resistant, and we start seeing these two bond together. Because then when you get to the nitty gritty, after she gets captured and Harlem's gonna go open her brain and take it for information, I don't even know it's gonna kill Atlas for that. He's going to do it so he can break the force field that's protecting Earth, and no other creatures or AIs can get back to planet Earth. Like, it's blocked. It's a force shield, and now he's got the code. And we see this big action-packed battle scene, spacesuits flying in outer space, asteroids, just pew, pew, pop out, right? And it's graphically, the CGI, it's not that bad, honestly. It's not top elite, but for what the budget was with Netflix, I thought that was really good. I love the visual of it, like, just them flying around and shooting each other. And there was some combat, like her robotic suit. AI Smith could have these giant swords or knives or some type, and she was just battling. And they're crushing other AIs and stuff. Like, it was really good. I mean, really good visually. And at the end, obviously they defeat the AIs and stuff, and Harlem is killed, or so we think. I think some way somehow he survived, but I'll get to that later. Another thing I just want to point out, I like how they in a flashback they revealed that Harlem killed Atlas's mother by actually forcing her to do it herself, and that's the whole purpose of why Harlem wanted to take over the world, because he was going to do that to everybody. Like, have other AIs in themselves just access everybody's conscience and make their body move and eliminate all humans. And, there's a lot of comedy between Atlas and AI Smith. And, I thought it was okay funny, but it wasn't that funny. But, watching the AI Smith start cussing, like saying shit or fuck, whatever, but it's not like it was like that comedy. But they try to mix a lot of action, but it's very sci-fi action. And I would say this is I thought the story was good, but it was some point at understanding it sometimes, because at first I was under the impression that this was just about getting rid of the AIs, and maybe that Atlas and her mom were wrong for encouraging this. Like, her mom was wrong for doing the AIs, and Atlas was wrong for continuing it and using AIs that we probably shouldn't use AI artificial. But then they kind of, like, in the middle changed it up to like, this is just Atlas looking for redemption, or wanting to be forgiving and have clarification that this wasn't her fault. You're just a little girl. This is something between you, her mother, and the AI. And and then now they're like, oh yeah, Harlem and Atlas they're close, like brother and sister type, which was fine. But I feel like I can tell throughout this film that they may cut out a lot of scenes because a lot of it, when you watch one scene, the next scene never really quite matched up or synchronized from the last scene. So that's where the confusion for me came from. But for understanding, like, okay, AIs versus human battle is pretty simple, but I can just tell that they cut a lot of scenes out because and a lot all movies do this. It's just what you do. They kind of do the finishing touch, and then they may get rid of some scenes, add more scenes, whatever the case may be. But for this case, I felt like they cut a lot out, but I think they cut too much scenes out where there is a where people are going to get a confusion, get confused whether this was like, is it the whole world or is it about one person? In which, obviously, in the title of the movie is Atlas, but it's not a big deal to get like to trash the whole movie. But that was just my only thing. I can tell like there are certain things that just wasn't making sense. So I was just kind of like, well, where is this going at? But that's about it, honestly. And as far as like how Jennifer Lopez did as an actress compared to the other one she did on Netflix called Mother or The Mother, I thought her performance in this one was much better. She showed more like personality. She really used her acting chops, like, because there was a lot of emotional sad scenes, and it was a lot of, there was a moment where she was crying, and letting out how she feel, and I thought she did well on that. I think honestly, I like to see more of Jennifer Lopez after seeing this. I honestly would like to see her do more films like this. Like, I think she has a spot, like, in sci-fi action films. I mean, would I want her in a Marvel or DC film? I wouldn't now. I wouldn't at this moment, but I mean, it's up to them, obviously, not up to me. But I think, to me personally, after seeing this, I think Jennifer Lopez is a great actress. I think she can expand her varieties of films that she's done in the past. I think there's more room for her to do other type of movies that she may have not done yet in her whole acting career so far. So after seeing this, I personally would like to see her in more sci-fi films in the near future and action movies like this. And maybe one day, she can prove the whole world wrong and be good at a superhero character. I mean, never say never. But if I had to give this a film 1 out of 10, I'm giving this a 6. It's a great movie. It's not the best, but this is a movie that if you watch with a group of people, you guys will enjoy just being around each other and watching this on a Friday night, Saturday night, or on whatever type of night or day. But but it's a great film, and I think it's worth watching. I would definitely check this out, and the story is not bad at all. Honestly, it's not that bad. Again, I bet you they cut some scenes out that could have helped make more sense, and where, because this is the type of thing where I felt I caught myself kind of like paying attention to my phone or whatever. But then I had to get back into the movie, but because those scenes, there were some slow scenes, but I think if they wanted to do a part 2 or a sequel after this, just my review, I think it deserves it, because they can easily say Samuel's not really dead. He's an AI. He was smart enough to escape that body before the final blow, and found another secret body that he might have hidden within the world or on a secret planet that he has. Like, They didn't, and that's what I mean. Like, I felt like they cut out a lot of scenes because a lot of the stuff that was going on, I wish they had more of an explanation. Like how smart is Samuel? Like, what's his backup plan? Like, they perceived him like this AI has a plan with a plan of a plan. They made it seem like he waited for 28 years to finally pull this off. So I know he didn't just do nothing. Like, I'm sure he created, because he had a huge army, so I'm sure he has the big weapons, the big surprises. Maybe there's an AI that he created that is a female and there's a love interest within it. I don't know. Like, there was so much. I feel like it was cut out because it made this film somewhat confusing because they never really touched on upon these characters. And I feel like if they do a part two or sequel, I hope they will take the time to explain more about this and how far back it's like. What about Atlas's dad? Does she have a dad? Who knows? I don't know. Is he dead or alive? I think this film's so good that if they do it, I hope they would improve it just a little bit by just adding a little bit more scenes, making it a little bit longer to explain so the audience have a better understanding. That's what I would only say if they do a part two, because again, I'm only giving it 6, but it was a good movie. I had fun watching it, and it's definitely good when you're high too, so that helps. But that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment Official Channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.